Alrighty guys, as you can bring us another Dragon Ball Legends ToP guide video. So I know you guys have been waiting a long time for this, and I just wanted to get as much info as I possibly can. I probably could have put this out a lot earlier, but I was just kind of like holding out to the bitter end right here, right? Because to this day, it is still a girls meta. This is essentially the girls guide, I would suppose, right? Because it is undisputably the best team in the game. That's why you notice in the title, there's no longer plural, right, for team, right? It's literally just team instead of teams right now. Unfortunately, I have given in, so we will be using a girls team this season, but it's a little bit off-putting, right? Because I have not worked on any of their friendship rank at all, and nor do I think you guys necessarily need to, right? Because the only one I have right here is Chi-Chi at friendship rank 5. But the main reason why I'm telling you guys that you don't really, I mean, yes, it's going to help. No matter what, it's going to help. I always do suggest getting your friendship rank up. That way you guys can go ahead and increase your overall stats, right? That is always going to be important. But when we look at season details, you're not going to be able to use this girls team again, right? Or, well, maybe in the future, right? Maybe not next season, but the season after it. So maybe it is still worth it. But if we look at the Z tier, the units do get changed. The girls that we are going to be using today are not going to be the Z tier for the next season, right? So these are the new pickup characters right here, and they're kind of changing them up a little bit. Obviously, you see Slug right here because he will be receiving the Zenkai. You do see some of these other guys right here, like some GT units, maybe GT. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but they do have, like, it looks like they're going to be rotating them fairly often. This Piccolo is going to be Z tier, so I do have a feeling a lot of people are going to be using this Piccolo just because the amount of heals that he actually possesses. That Piccolo and then this Turles for sure, right? That Turles, that red one, is absolutely amazing, right? It's really, even before the update and stuff like that, right? So there is going to be, I feel like there's going to be a new quote-unquote main team every season. But this team right here just completely blows away any other team in terms of points. But do not get me wrong, if you do end up using this team, you have to go with the safest route possible. And so, as usual, I've been going through the leaderboard pretty much almost every single day, right? I like to look through the top 1,000 to see what's going on, what's circulating and stuff like that, right? Just to look at the top scores and put some of it into perspective. It's pretty much just all girls, right? All girls, but when we scroll all the way down here, you can kind of find some comfort teams, right? So coming in at rank 803, we do have a regeneration player, but obviously it's a scuffed team, kind of, right? Not necessarily a scuffed team, but he does have nearly 14 stars on every unit except for the stretchy arms Piccolo. He has the metal cooler on there. He's not running like the meta regeneration units, right? Because he can't. He can't, because the meta regeneration units are getting a whopping 0% boost to your score, so you kind of had to like dumb yourself down a little bit. So he's sitting at 39 million points. Obviously, I can't tell you if he has used all of his TP up until this point, but so 39 million points compared to 58 million points, right? There's almost a 20 million differential there, right? So it just goes to show that you really, just girls are just superior, I suppose, right? And because you also have to keep in mind, because of him using kind of more of a comfort team with this regeneration squad, he probably does have to go for the most difficult route, right? He probably has to go for the Sun family fight and stuff like that. That way he can just go ahead and keep up to just be in the spot alone. So I think in conclusion, if you still want to use a comfort team, then it will be possible to get your 1000 CC, but you must take the hardest route possible. Another team that I saw on the leaderboard was this team right here, and it looks pretty solid, right? I actually have seen a couple Bardock squads right here, metal coolers thrown in the mix. You also have the yellow EX Piccolo, but my main issue here is with the blue Fascia, the green Tora, and the red Turles. Right, these are relatively quote-unquote new EXs, right? The Bardock squads came out with the Bardock banner towards the beginning of the year. EX Turles came out a little bit later for anniversary, right? He came out for the anniversary, and I doubt a lot of you guys are going to have him at red stars. So this is kind of like an outlier to me. I don't really want to go ahead and invest in a team like this where I'm going to need my Tora is literally at 4 stars, I believe. So I'm not going to be running this. Alright, so this is the path that we created. This is the easiest path I could make, consisting of only one Sun family fight. You'll find it right before the first boss fight, right here actually, right? So there's Goten, Gohan, the whole 9 right there. And just being honest with you guys, some of you may die, right? Some of you may die, but with how much points this team gains, I really think having a death won't be a big deal at all. However, the yellow tiles still remain a massive no-no. Again, if you aren't using girls / Z tier units, you have to go through the more difficult battles, meaning more Sun family fights. Alright, so let's do tips and tricks, right? So Kid Gohan, we'll make this nice and quick, right? Kid Gohan stages. Make sure to target Kid Gohan first and foremost, because he does generate a super per defeated ally, right? As well as Beerus inflicting can attack on turn 2. And now we also have the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Full Power Frieza fight. Take down Kaioken Goku first, else he will have a super at the start of turn 2, plus having a really high key restore speed, right? We may even change to all strike based here. That way, once we do get through Goku, we do not have to even take the risk of getting hit by Full Power Frieza super, since he only generates it upon using a blast card against him. And as always, the easiest way to go ahead and do this is if you click on the whatever character of your choice right here, you're going to go ahead and just simply tap on the blast icon next to the avatar, and it says choose your attack strategy. You can go from either strike or to blast. It's as simple as that. There's also this rival universe team. I would just suggest targeting Champa first, since he can inflict you with can attack on turn 2. And remember that Bergadmo can nullify an attack with his barrier mechanic, so you can kind of just play around with that given the information. There is also this girls team that we frequently do go against right here. You want to take out both of the greens here first, as they both can inflict can attack on turn 2, right? So you want to go for green 21 first, and then green Mai, right? In that order specifically, because green 21 will access her solar flare first, and then green Mai will hit you with the flashbang towards the end of turn 2. I'm not really going to cover Sun family here like we usually do, because we're only going against the fight one singular time, but there is absolutely zero chance that we can avoid Goten's super attack here, but maybe we can avoid Kaioken since it does happen on turn 3, so we will prioritize him a little bit. Now, as for the team, right, so this is going to be different this season. Girls are just the best, right? They're literally the best choice. So we're only going to be covering them, as we have to understand them, right? And you don't even really have to understand this team that much, right? 1000 Day Bulma is definitely one of the most valuable units here, and mainly because of the fact that she heals herself, right? I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, her healing herself is so huge, because you do want a lot of self-sustain on this team, right? At the end of each turn, you do restore your health by 2%. You also do a cover change, right? So before receiving a strike arts attack for allies in range, you do perform a cover change. So the way I suggest not having any red units in this range, right? Because well, I mean, it just really depends, right? Because if a yellow unit attacks your red, you do want that to happen, right? Type advantage and everything. But imagine a yellow attacks one of your reds, and then she comes in and cover changes for it, right? That's something that you necessarily don't want to do. You kind of have to play around with it a little bit. There's no necessarily correct way, I suppose. But she also has support for all of her allies in range. Just the fact that she has 2 passes right here, because she is a sparking unit, I think it's going to help out a lot, because a lot of the team does consist of EX units that only have 1 passive. The thing about her though is that she is, like in the title, the 1000 Day Bulma. You don't have access to her unless you have played for 1000 days, right? So I have seen people replace her with the EX Zenkai Green 18, or maybe even this purple Videl. That way you still get the 120 boost, right? Because all of these units are in Z tier right here. You're getting 20% per each, and 20 times 6 right there, you are going to be getting the 120. But keep in mind too, like I said before, if you do end up dying, the 1000 CC is still in your grasp. So next unit is this Rosie that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. So what she does, this EX Rosie, is she actually puts some debuffs, right? So she inflicts attribute downgrade plus 20% to blast damage received, right, for 1 turn, and inflicts attribute downgrade minus 20 to key recovery for 1 turn, inflicts attribute downgrade minus 20% to health restoration for 1 turn. Since she is your debuffer, I think you want to bring her in as much as you possibly can. Correct me in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure this is for the entire enemy. It might just be on a singular enemy. I have to really test this out and stuff like that, right? But I do think having her on the team, having her in play, is going to be very important. My throat is all messed up right now. So basically, a lot of the units here do buff each other depending on the tiles, so make sure to pay attention to that when creating your formation per fight. And the easiest way to check that is so simply just go to the kit, right? You can see right here exactly where Bulma is going to be buffing her allies, and not only right there, but you can go ahead and click on her on your team formation board. If I tap her, you can see the highlighted squares in which she is going to go ahead and be buffing people. I also am a fan of this Great Saiyaman too, just because she does have decent support as well. She buffs damage inflicted as well as key recovery itself for 4 tiles, right? She does her own tile, left, right, and immediately behind her. So I think she's also decent. I'm only worried about her is because she's only at 7 stars. Right, everyone else here is red star territory. She is at 7 stars. I feel like she's going to take a lot of damage. Also, make sure you guys do get your equips from the exchange shop. It's very easy to do so. You do spend your rare metals on them. You can go ahead and get them from right here. Obviously, the ones that I do recommend is running 2 golds and then this a silver out of the way one that does buff your base health. The 2 golds, always you're going to want to use this one right here. You have to be at 7 stars or above, unfortunately. I don't know why they have that kind of restriction on it. And then there's always one depending on what range or what typing you are, right? So there's defensive type one, there's a strike based one, there's a blast based one. This one's the blast based one, and there's the support type one. Alright, so I guess before we close out the video, we can actually go ahead and talk about new characters. I don't really think there's a point to this segment at this point in time, right? Because these new characters are not being used except for the blue metal cooler, that is, right? So we do see the red LF cooler. We'll go ahead and display his maximum stats because I still am interested in their kits and stuff like that. Let's look at ToP. 2,500 for 33 for key restore speed is really good. He does possess the ultimate right here. And so the first passive, 80% to damage inflicted, minus 30% to damage received, plus 20% to critical rate, and plus 70 to key recovery. So he's going to be attacking very, very often, right? This guy would probably be a very good asset against the Sun family fights. On Strike Arts attack self, he gets 20% to strike damage, inflicted, cannot be cancelled, activates twice, plus 20 to key recovery, cannot be cancelled, activates twice, and plus 5% to special move gauge charge rate. And wow, before receiving a Strike Arts attack, health is 30% or lower. In allies in range, he can do a cover change for them. I mean, it's decent, right? I just don't like the health restriction on that. At the end of turn, own health is 65% or below. You actually restore your health by 2%, 15% to damage inflicted, and 10% to special move gauge. He's not bad. I would say that's pretty good. They actually do give LF characters they give them decent ToP kits pretty much every time. Alright, so next we have Thouser right here. Let's go ahead and max him out. ToP stats. Key restore speed's looking a little bit weak here, 2,355. He just has the blue card right here, only 1 passive. Remember, he is an EX unit. So at the start of the battle, if allied character cooler is in range, so it has to be directly behind him, it looks like, right? Plus 15% to strike damage inflicted, and plus 30 to key recovery. And at the start of turn, if there is an allied character cooler remaining, self, 70% to damage inflicted, minus 30% to damage received, 80 to key recovery for 1 turn, and 20% to special move damage inflicted activates once, plus 15% to special move gauge. Honestly, that's a lot. That's a lot that he does. I mean, he does have to be ran with cooler right here, but he's doing a decent amount right here. And at the start of the first turn, you activate a special action, which is your green card. Alright, multi-target, 25% to next strike damage, to own strike arts damage inflicted, and you inflict all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10% to strike damage received for 2 turns. I think this guy's pretty good. This guy is actually really good. Okay. I mean, we probably aren't going to see too much playtime from him just because he's an EX unit. There's going to be only a select few that have him at the stars to go ahead and run him. Alright, so next we do have the blue metal cooler. I already have him maxed out, so no need to go ahead and do that right there. 2,378 for the key restore speed. Again, a little bit on the weaker side right there. He does only possess the blue card. On hit, target is tag Saiyan or tag Super Saiyan, which is already a good sign because there's a lot of those every single ToP season. Plus 20% to damage inflicted instantly. Started the battle 60% to damage inflicted, minus 30% to damage received, plus 10% to damage inflicted for 1 turn, and 20% to special move gauge charge rate. And even, oh, he has support too. At the start of the turn, multi-target, plus 10 to key recovery of all allies in range, and you inflict all enemies with attribute downgrade, minus 10 to key recovery, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade, minus 10% to health restoration. I mean, it's still pretty good. The key recovery one is very good. I wish instead of health restoration, it was just minus 10% to damage received or something like that. On strike or blast arts hit, multi-target, 5% to damage inflicted by allies in range, and 15% to own damage inflicted. Yep, this guy's really damn solid, especially being that he's a free-to-play unit. Alrighty guys, so that being said, that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what teams you guys are running, if you guys are already running girls and stuff like that. How are you guys doing in terms of survivability, all of that good stuff, right? And stay tuned for the actual walkthrough itself. I will probably just be doing one video, just going through the entire thing, so it might be a lengthy one right here, right? But as soon as we get that last bit of TP, that's what we're going to go ahead and rock with. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!